just the start of their bad behavior. A hidden camera catching the principal of an elementary school in suburban Chicago having sex with a teacher. Another woman also seen hugging and kissing him. And then get this, it was all put on a DVD and actually leaked out and sent to parents. And the images were more explicit that, well, we were not allowed to show you on television. Anyway, the parents are appalled, obviously, with good reason, and the regional superintendent is stunned, to say the least.
It's reprehensible, it's stupid, it certainly is unprofessional. Again, I don't know if it's illegal or not, but maybe it should be.
Yeah, maybe it should be. And by the way, all of this is coming to light before a school board election scheduled for this Tuesday. The plot thickens. Back again, Mercedes Colwin and Kimberly Guilfoyle and Jill Davis. Mercedes, let me start with you first. Regarding this DVD leaking to parents, they were set up, but nonetheless, can the principal then turn it around and try to go after whoever it is that set him up for sleeping with one of the teachers?
He could. I mean, ironically, he could say that his rights to privacy were invaded, which is what he was going to try to do. But this is the defense of that. They're going to say there's no reasonable expectation of privacy. If it was a bathroom and your images were being captured and then circulated in the public, certainly there's a very different story here. But you check those rights at the door. You're at your office. You're not expected to do this type of behavior in the office.
And apparently the principal has resigned. That teacher sitting on his lap has resigned, and so has another teacher who has resigned. So at this point, what does the school superintendent do to keep the lawsuits from coming? Jill?
Well, they certainly give new meaning to sex education, don't they? I think it was probably a gift that the teachers and the principal were allowed to resign, quite frankly. The parents are outraged that they weren't fired and their licenses stripped. So to allow them to resign quietly and go on their way, I think, was a gift for them. But I, don't know that it's going to be over right now. But and ironically, this is the same principal that sent a young schoolgirl home for kissing a boy, and said that we're not going to have any romancing going on at the school. And I guess really what he probably should have said was, except mine.
Right. So. Well, Kimberly, I guess, the rumors had been out there for a while that these two had been having an affair, so it was not a secret. But I guess some of the parents are complaining that the school didn't protect the kids. What's that all about?
Well, okay, I get it. And this is definitely unacceptable at school. I mean, again, no expectation of privacy because you're in a public school in this circumstance. But the parents, of course, are mad. They don't like these kind of shenanigans going on. What about education at school? But were the kids harmed? Did they actually see it? Only if they saw the DVDs that were distributed, and the person that should be gone after is the person that put that video camera in there and then distributed it and sent it to all these different parents. But unless this was going on in the classroom in front of the kids, how was the child harmed?
Okay, so is there any way that the parents could actually sue this principal and this teacher for having sex in the principal's office when they didn't know they were being videotaped because that camera was hidden?
Well, they can certainly go to this, Julie, and they're going to say to themselves, well, let's revisit every decision this principal has made and see if his judgment was somehow impaired because he was doing this type of conduct. Even though it was in his office, if it affected his judgment, if it impaired what he had to do as a principal, that's how they could try to sue the school.
So I guess it's probably pretty safe to say that he will not be a principal anytime soon in that school district?
Teaching no longer unless it's hanky-panky spanking 101.
So now, Jill, these investigators are trying to figure out who planted that camera because there is a school board election coming up this week, and they think perhaps this was their way of getting back and trying to slant the election. So I guess what happens to that person once they're busted for putting that camera up? What are the charges?
Well, clearly clearly there was an agenda because evidently the hanky-panky was going on back in, several months ago. So whoever put the camera there, which they don't know who that is now, whoever put it there, or multiple people, and then held on to it to
Can they get charged for anything, Kimberly, though? No?
Well,
no, they're not going to be able to be charged, really, unless, again, there's someone who didn't have a right to be on school property, but it's someone who had access to get in and out.
Could be trespassing. They were in the principal's office without permission.
Misdemeanor charges for that.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Mercedes Colwin, Kimberly Guilfoyle, Jill Davis, and remember to catch Kimberly Guilfoyle tonight on The Lineup. That's at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox News Channel. Thank you. Well, severe thunderstorms.